Hey you guys, welcome back for another fun, who knows how it's going to go, tumbler tutorial with me. Alright, so recently I showed you guys that Grande Finale sent me a box of goodies. This glow-in-the-dark HTV really caught my eye, and I put out a video a couple of weeks ago of a glow-in-the-dark HTV Spooky Vibes Ghost Tumbler. So I mentioned in that video that I had started out trying something and it went south real fast. Well, this is the original tutorial that I was working on, and you're about to see what happens. This does not go well, but I pushed through and it turns out absolutely beautiful. So just stick with me and see what happens. Once I got my HTV cut and configured, I wrapped it around my tumbler to make sure that it was going to fit securely, and I used a piece of heat-resistant tape to hold it in place. So I'm using my HTV Ront Auto Tumbler Heat Press, and I just wrapped a sheet of paper around it, set my press to 390 for 60 seconds. I did rotate it once. Oh my wow, you guys, talk about tumbler tutorial going south real fast. Yeah, this is exactly what happened. That time and temp was obviously way too hot and way too long for this tumbler and HTV. I should have known better. I really didn't research a whole lot before doing it, but after I unwrapped it and saw this, I decided, you know what the heck, I'm going for it. I'm gonna make this tumbler tutorial work out, and it turns out super great. So again, stick with me. All right, so we're gonna be improvising big time on this tumbler. My original design is going out the door, which was gonna be cute little ghost all over it. I mean, I probably still could strategically do that, but we'll see. With the green glow in the dark, I immediately thought Frankenstein. So I just went into Cricut Design Space and found some cute Frankenstein heads, and I cut those out, and then I did another set of them. You'll see those here in just a second, where I hid all contours so that I would just have solid heads to place on my tumbler. Looking back, I totally should have had a layer of Grande Finale or Bright Tone on this HTV before trying to adhere the decals, because they are not wanting to stick very well, as you can see. It's probably obvious now that I'm going for a peekaboo look here. These seem to be my favorites, and the glow in the dark is just a lot of fun to work with on peekaboos. I got my Frankensteins on, and now then, I am going to use clear matte Rust-Oleum spray paint to go over these to seal them down. It will also help prevent my purple spray paint that I'm going to be doing from bleeding up underneath. Now, I know I could very well use a layer of Bright Tone to do this, but then I would have to wait 4 hours before I could spray paint it. Anyways, so no matter what, if I use spray paint, I've got to wait 48 hours for it to gas off. So I might as well just use clear spray paint and purple spray paint, one right after the other, and then wait my 48 hours out instead of waiting 4 hours and then 48 hours. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so my clear matte has dried for a bit, and I had to move farther out in the yard because of the wind. And if I were to spray paint purple and it get on our beautiful white house, I would be very, very sad. Doesn't look like that stuck down very well. And it's probably gonna lift a little bit, but by the time I get my layers, like at the border of the Frankenstein heads around it, that should be okay. Not going to be too worried about that. Now I do have that big ugly seam that I'm gonna have to figure out something but we'll deal with that as we get to it. After a few hours of dry time, I stepped out to check on my tumbler, and yikes, the Frankenstein heads were lifting. They did not seal down like I had planned for them to with that clear matte spray paint. I really should have gone over them with a layer of Brite tone, but you live and learn. Okay, so I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off. I need to be careful because the paint on there just feels really sticky. All right, so I've got my Frankenstein Tumbler ready now for Grande Finale 2.0. I definitely need a couple of layers before moving on to my next step. Once I got a couple of layers of the Grande Finale 2.0 on there, and please keep in mind you have to allow 2 hours of dry time for that between each layer. So I moved on to applying my Frankenstein heads right over the tops of the green glow-in-the-dark areas that are exposed. Once I got those on, I grabbed my liquid mica. It's the silver liquid mica from the CRYSTALAC store, and I mixed it with a little bit of Brite tone. I went with Brite tone because it's a bit thinner and I want to be able to drizzle and drop the liquid mica Brite tone mixture on. Now, you're seeing it already on here, and that's because I received a phone call and it interrupted my recording. So I'm just kind of showing you really quickly again how I did that. I just dropped it on there and then used my finger to sort of spread it. And then as it continues to turn, it pretty much does its own thing because it's fluid enough to move on its own. All right, so I have one layer of the Brite tone with the liquid mica in it over this. It is nice and dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and weed off all of these Frankenstein faces. You always want to be extra careful doing this so that you don't risk peeling up that layer of Brite tone, and it's inevitable that it's going to happen, and so just know that your next layer of Brite tone will help seal it back down. After I got all of those removed, I then grabbed my transfer paper and applied my face outlines to each little Frankenstein head. Look how cute that is. I love it so much already. Once I got those on there, I went ahead and put another layer of the Grande Finale 2.0 on because I was still feeling ridges and bumps from the messy HTV layer below the surface. All right, so now I'm going to be putting my stitches on. Okay, so this has been layered and layered with Grande Finale, and I did a level sand and then another layer or two. So it's smooth enough now that I can put these stitches on. And normally I would use transfer tape, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pull these off and stick them on. Now I've got my big seam from way in the beginning that I'm going to be covering up with this big long stitch. Okay, I think that's really cute. So now then I can just continue on with more layers of Grande Finale and then finish it out with Brite tone like I love to do. All right, you guys, here's the semi-finished product. And what I mean by that is I still need a couple more layers of Brite tone on here, but I was really excited about how this turned out and could not wait to show it to you. So here it is. Here it is glowing in the dark. I just had to bring it in and show you guys. If you're a tumbler maker, I think you understand how time consuming some of these things can be and how things can go wrong easily. And I just like to really keep things real for you guys and show you all the mess ups, the mishaps, the flaws that take place during tumbler making. And just, I really want to encourage you to push through and keep on keeping on and make the best out of it. I think this one turned out adorably cute and I am super pumped about it. So I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you will check out the Tech Wrap Glow in the Dark HTV. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and definitely check out my next tutorial.